forecast with Bill Vessey. Hi there, Bill.
Hi again, Leslie. Hey, everybody. Another hot, hazy, humid day here in South Texas. But look what was going on up near St. Louis today. These pictures from Washington, Missouri, where it rained and rained hard up there. You see some of the rain blowing sideways, so it's also a little bit windy up there. And unfortunately for us, no rain, no significant rain in our forecast anytime soon. All right, here's a look at, here it is. Happy new month. Happy half year. July 1st. We are a little bit more than 1.5 inches of rain below normal. Average for July, a little less than 3 inches of rain. Again, as we just mentioned, I don't see any rain for at least anything significant for at least a week. A live picture from the LexCam. You know, it's interesting looking at the LexCam, and you can really see the haze when looking through a farther distance. So hazy out there right now, 87. The high today's been 90. And a little bit breezy, winds out of the southeast, 20 miles per hour. Again, not as windy as it has been these past couple of days. And the temperatures ranging from the 80s, eastern parts of the viewing area, 90s out west. But look at the feel-like temperatures. Feels like 103 here in Corpus Christi, but 110 is what it feels like in Kingsville, 113 in Alice, 115 in Beeville. That's all dangerous heat. But a little less humidity in the forecast tomorrow. Check this out. Again, humidity right now is around 68-70%. We're looking at 54% tomorrow, so not quite as humid. We'll keep the heat index, we'll keep the feel-like temperatures down. Also, a little less dust in the forecast tomorrow. Still some dust out there, but a little less tomorrow and even less dust here on Friday. So, clear to partly cloudy is the forecast for this evening. Tomorrow morning, partly cloudy, a little bit hazy in the morning, and then sunny and a little bit hazy tomorrow afternoon. And let's get rid of that haze for a day. What do you say? Mostly sunny forecast for Friday. And the rain chances, yeah, slim chance for rain. We're hoping for Tuesday, but again, it's an unlikely chance here on Tuesday. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Everything's quiet in the tropics. KIIITV.com/weather. Click on Hurricane Central for tropical updates 24/7. I'm going to show you the European model going out 15 days. This is through mid-July. And look at the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean and most of the Atlantic all looking quiet. Through mid-July, we like that. Again, our prime time season for hurricanes here is August, so we continue to keep an eye on that. All right, timecast for tomorrow, a little less humid, a little less dust. Still overall, sunny, hot, and humid. A high temperature of 93, but the feel-like temperature only 102. Highs tomorrow ranging from 86 at the beach, everybody else in the 90s, get down to 99 in George West Freer and Heveronville. Water temperature is 85, sun up in the morning, 6:38. We'll have a high tide at 4:15 in the morning, and that 7-day forecast. Welcome to summer in South Texas. An update at 6, Leslie, back to you.